Hi folks, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about calories in versus calories out when it comes to weight loss. So yes, we know that that's important for weight loss. In fact, it's the one essential element of fat loss, is that you must burn more calories than you consume in order to lose fat. But is it the whole picture? And actually I don't think it is, because all of my clients have the information that they need to burn more calories than they're consuming. However, not all of them manage to lose fat. Now, why is this? Well, it's because fat loss is based more around habits, behaviours, of course actions and willpower, than it is around what you're recording. So if you have a certain amount that you're eating each day, that's what amounts to your current habits, amount to the way that your body currently looks. It's actually nothing to do with really the numbers that you input into MyFitnessPal if you do use it, or the numbers that you count. It's the actions that you take and the habits that you build through those actions, because any major change in behaviour takes a lot of willpower. Now, willpower is theorised to be a finite resource, so it runs out basically. You've only got a limited amount of willpower. So when you're not relying on habits, you're basically free falling, or you're running in a freestyle state. So you're running on this willpower fuel, which will eventually run out, and that results in energy crashes, binges on junk food, etc, etc. Whereas that's if you're using your, well, this is what I found, is when you're using your calorie counting approach, you will run into this burnout, because you're basically using willpower and just eating less, which is, you have to always eat less to lose fat, except in certain cases. And again, that's to do with habits and behaviour. Sometimes you will need to eat more, but that more may be in terms of whole food. So you'll be eating more volume and feeling fuller, but you will be adhering to this principle of less calories, but you won't necessarily feel as if you will if you're consuming more whole foods. So yeah, this is why habits, behaviours and actions and willpower is much more important than whether you're counting calories or not. So if you can do a habits audit in your life, look at what your current habits are. So do you have say 3 meals per day, or do you have lots of snacks, or do you frequently skip breakfast, but you're not actually fasting, you just skip breakfast because you're lazy, and then when the donuts get passed around, or when you go to the coffee shop and get your coffee and they offer you like a muffin, which they always do, it's kind of crafty by the way, do you eat that muffin and then that bumps your calories up for the rest of the day, and then you're feeling guilty, and you just get onto this bit of a pendulum effect. So have a habits audit of your life and just look at some really easy habits that you could change to lose fat. This will be just the way that you'll feel the least in terms of willpower, in terms of general nuisance, or like destroying your quality of life. You're not really going to feel small changes in behaviour and small habits. Whereas if you go from eating 2,000 calories a day, let's say, which is quite comfortable for the average person, or 2,500 maybe, and then you slash that to 1,500, pretty soon you may get away with it for a couple of days, but pretty soon you're going to feel that. You're going to have hunger, you're going to have a drop in energy levels, a drop in performance. You won't be as strong in the gym, or you won't be as strong in your workouts. So if you can just not worry so much about all those details, but just look at your life as like an overall picture. So do you walk every day? Do you eat 3 healthy meals per day? Like, if you can get those two nailed, like go for a walk every day and eat 3 healthy meals. I just always use these rules of 3. So 3 healthy meals, protein, carbohydrates and a vegetable source. That's going to cover you, and then you can look at adding some healthier snacks into those in between. So if you're walking every day and you're swapping out your junk food for healthier foods, it's going to work, and you won't have to count calories. Your fat is just going to decrease. It might not be as quick as if you go on a 500 calorie slash and burn adventure, where you just slash out half your daily calories. Of course that's going to result in weight loss, but the willpower cost is very large, and you need to spread your willpower thinly over a long period in order to see the results that you want. It's probably not going to take a week, it's probably not going to take a month. You're probably going to be looking at like 3 to 6 months. I know that's not what anyone wants to hear, but that's a sustainable approach, and you will keep the fat off that way. That's why people who remain lean aren't the ones doing crash diets. You have to notice, if you look at the successful behaviours of people that remain lean, they don't really do crash diets. From the outside, they appear to eat quite a normal, quote unquote, normal diet, but it's just they know what habits for them amount to fat loss. And I just want to use a friend of mine for an example. Like, she doesn't really watch her calories whatsoever. She just eats whatever, just keeps it relatively healthy. And just doesn't consume, for example, like beer. You know, if she's going to go out, she has like a G&T and whatever. But her superpower is walking. She just walks to and from work every day, and it's 5-ish miles, I think, or 4 miles. So it might be less, it might be more. The exact distance that my friend walks to work is not the important part of the story, though. But what it is she's got this really sustainable habit that she can easily keep going, and she's probably burning like, I don't know, 500, 600 calories a day. Well, there's your fat loss, and you haven't really got to think about your food so much. All you've got to do is be some way sensible. So audit your habits. You could even write them down. In fact, that was something I suggest to my clients. None of them actually do it, but it's, you know, it's a nice suggestion to make. And some do. You know, 1 out of every 10 people will take this stuff and apply it. So audit your habits, write them down, and just switch 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 just for something healthier in the short term. So for me, another quick one is just like swapping beer, because I love a nice beer, nice craft beer or whatever. Swapping that for a G&T, a gin and slimline tonic. You know, if you're going out and having 4 beers and you switch that to 4 slimline tonics, the calories are slashed by like 2/3. So yes, calories are important, but behaviours, actions, habits and willpower are you need to take those into account a lot more than simply calories. So I hope that's not too confusing or rambly. Post any questions in the comments down below, and yeah, let me see your reps.